Hi, it's us again.
It is us again.
Charlotte and Emma, and we're going to be talking again about some of these early things that Emma brings out at the beginning of the book. And so, Emma, one of the ones that's really stuck out for me is what you were saying about people are not their behaviours, and I think now more than ever, that's such an important thing to remember.
It really is. It really is. So what we mean about this is, so all we tend to see is other people's behavior. So if somebody's snappy or somebody's grumpy, that's what we see. And what happens is we tend to judge ourselves by our intention, but the other person by their behavior. So we judge them because that's what we see. Well, in NLP, what we like to do is be curious. So we like to go around to their side first and find out what's going on for them because they're not just their behavior. Imagine what it would be like, I'm sure, well, maybe not, that you've been grumpy at some point.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Me too. Me too. It's a bit like somebody, making a t-shirt with, I'm grumpy, and making you wear it all the time. That's not who we are. We're so much more than that. And actually, if somebody's acting out of character, if you're acting out of character, it's worth taking a moment to go, okay, so what's happening for me? What do I need right now? There's something that's going on that's deeper than just the behavior. And being curious and going around their side and having empathy and being able to communicate in that way will just help that person hugely to support that person, to give them, that you're there for them. And if it's yourself, being kind to yourself. There's a whole section in the book about self-care and looking after ourselves. So, so important because we're not our behaviors, we are so much more. And we just don't know what's going on for that person in that moment in time.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it can be so easy to judge from behaviour. Certainly, I work with a lot of very sensitive teens, and who are often saying to me that they are told they're too sensitive, they're overreacting. But for them, it's not an overreaction. No. You know, it's something that has happened in the past that other people perhaps don't know about, and that's triggered that response in them. And I think it's just really, really important, particularly now, while things are less than easy for many people, to really remember that we all have a lot going on, and we are not our behaviours.
We're not, and you don't know what's going on. I'll give you an example. Many years back, just before I learned about NLP, actually, I went in for an operation, and the doctor came and spoke to me about what was going on in the anaesthetist, and basically I was in a blubbering wreck of tears because my dad had been overdosed on the operating table a couple of years before, and they'd been given too much anesthetic, and I had this massive fear that I was going to die. Now my behavior was totally irrational. For that surgeon, it was just another minor surgery, another day, but for me it was huge because what was going on in my life was not just this operation, it was all that baggage that I had. And that's why, I talk about it in the book. I give you some tools of what I did to get rid of that fear, to get rid of that belief, so that I could then go back and have a different experience. So that's the great news with this book. There's those tools and those tips that if this is you, if there's a behavior you're doing or something that you go, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to keep kicking the cat. I don't want to keep snapping at the kids. I don't want to keep, being grumpy. Then the great news is you can change that.
Absolutely.
And this book tells you.
Yeah. The tips for how you can go about changing those unwanted behaviours is fabulous. But I think the other thing that you bring out in the book really brilliantly is how we can respond to other people. So that idea again of curiosity and going around to the other person's side first. Think about what might be happening for them. Because it can be so easy to judge, can't it? We all do it.
Absolutely. And there's a positive intention. I'm judging. There's all that, it makes me feel better. But actually, it's not about being right.
No,
it's not about being right. Rumi's got a beautiful poem in there. Beyond right doing and wrong doings, there's a meadow, and I'll meet you there.
Yeah.
And that whole idea of actually, it's not about being right or wrong. It's actually having kindness.
Yeah. And I think that's needed so much right now.
Hugely. Absolutely. So, thank you for joining us. I hope that's given you something to think about in terms of people not being their behaviours. And we shall see you again soon for the next one.
Absolutely. See you next time.
Thank you.